Hey guys, this is Stel Yafty with Close.io. Let's talk about things that don't scale that startups should be doing, especially calling churned customers, people that are canceling your service. So why should you reach out to people that are canceling your service to talk to them and understand their use case? Well, there are many reasons. But before we jump into that, let's first quickly talk about reasons why people are canceling your service in the first place. Why do customers churn? Right? There's really one single thing you can boil it down to. They're not getting enough value. They're paying, at least they're not getting enough perceived value. In their mind, in their use case, in their world, they're paying more for the service than the value they're getting in return. And now there's two sets of not getting enough value. Some of them are avoidable and some of them are unavoidable, right? So avoidable ones are things that you can actually change as a business, as a product, as a service to increase the value that people in reality or in their perception are getting out of the service or product. The unavoidable ones are the things like if you're selling to B2B customers, the business is out of, the company's out of business, right? If they're out of business, there's not a lot that you can do. Although in some ways you could blame your marketing and your targeting and saying, hey, we should target and market to a lot more stable, more successful companies. But there are edge cases where there's really very little in your power that can actually affect that. But reaching out to people once they've already canceled or churned as customers is very, very, very late, right? In an ideal scenario, in a perfect world, you will want to instrument things in your product to get those signals early when people are failing to get value out of your product. One way to look at it would be they're logging in a lot less or the usage is going down dramatically, but there's many, many signals that you could instrument to get warning signs when customers are about to churn and to actually step in proactively before they're thinking about churning or leaving. But even once they've done so, even once they've left or churned, it is very, very late, but it's not too late. And there's still a shit ton of value that you can get out of an interaction if you actually reach out. Here's the things that you can get out of it. First and foremost, learnings. You can understand why did they leave? Where did we miss an opportunity? Where did we not keep our promises? What did we do wrong and what could we do better? The other thing is you can get feedback and input on what would they like to see in the product? Where are they going next? So you can just understand your customer and the market a lot better if you actually have interactions with them, not just when things are going right and when people are excited at the beginning of their journey as your customer, but even more importantly, at the end of the journey, there's a lot of really valuable feedback, sometimes painful, but still very, very crucial and important for you to hear. And then the next thing is actually getting an opportunity. Once in a while, you'll actually get an opportunity to win them back as customers by realizing that there is a way for them to get immediate value out of your product today that both them and you missed on discovering. And also, at the very least, you're going to create an impression. You're going to show that you care, and you're going to show that you have enough balls to actually personally reach out when things didn't go well, and not just to, not to hide behind your desk or computer or office, but actually to reach out and say, hey, I want to find out what happened. Where did we miss the boat? What can we do to help you guys? We want to personally step up and take responsibility and show face and make ourselves accessible and available to you when you obviously are about to leave us because something didn't go right. Right? That always creates an impression, and it will pay dividends for many, many, many years to come with that customer as well as with the entire ecosystem. So how should you go about reaching out to people that are churning or leaving your service? Well, number one, call them, right? Try to get in touch with them personally, pick up the phone and dial. And if you can't get a hold of them in person, send them an email, right? Send them an email at the very least and ask them, where did we miss the boat? What could we do better? How could we help? When you call them, here's a simple script for you. Here's what you should be saying. You simply say, hey, I wanted to personally take the time to reach out. I saw that you just canceled the service, which I'm, super sad about. I wanted to find out what happened, what could we have done better, and is there anything we can do for you today? Is there anything I can do for you to make sure that whatever happens next is creates the most value and the most success for your business? Very, very simple. And then all you have to do is ask questions to really not just stay on the surface level of their feedback, but actually dive deep and really understand what really happened. What was the problem? Was it that in the sales process, you did a really bad job qualifying them. So were they a bad fit from the get-go? If you actually did a good job qualifying them, would you have discovered back then when they decided to become customers that the product is not really a good fit and they should never have bought? Was that the issue? Was it that if you actually qualified them correctly in the sales cycle, you would have seen early churn risk signals? So for instance, you talk to a customer and they say, hey, we just hired 30 salespeople. We need lots and lots of seats in a CRM because we're about to run out of money in the next 3 weeks. And if we don't turn this boat around, then we're dead, right? I mean, those things are obvious signals for this customer might be in trouble and we might see them churn really, really quickly. So you might adjust how much time, effort, onboarding support you give them, or you might want to adjust in giving them feedback if their strategy is actually a good idea, independently if it gives you 1 month of revenue or not. You might want to step in and actually act in the best interest of the customer and tell them, hey, I'm not sure we're the right fit for you, or I'm not sure the strategy really works, so I would advise you against it, right? So was it a bad qualifying job? Was it that they wanted things and features and things in the product that your product delivers, but the way your product delivers these things was not a fit for their workflow use case? A lot of times I'll see salespeople be on a call and say, what is really important for you? What do you guys really need? And they'll say, well, what we need is a way to, whatever, get metrics on our sales emails, right? That's kind of a very generic thing. And then salespeople will go, well, guess what? Good news. Our product is a great fit because we do offer, sales analytics. Awesome. Well, no, not awesome. Just knowing that they want sales analytics is not enough information. What exactly are they looking for in terms of analytics? What kind of metrics do they want to track? How are they going to track them? How does it fit into their workflow and use case? And once you really know what they need and how they need it delivered, then you can go, well, we do have sales metrics and analytics, but we don't quite offer you these numbers, or it won't quite work in this use case. So a lot of times, people will think the product has the functionality and can create the value and is a good fit for their use case because a salesperson told them, yes, the product does this, but they didn't really quite understand how it does that, how exactly it delivers these results, and if it really fits into their workflow or not. You want to find that out so that you can actually improve your qualifying and sales process and make sure that in the future it doesn't happen again and your salespeople are better trained to make a better job there. Sometimes it's not about the marketing funnel or the sales funnel. Sometimes where it's the product, right? The product has too many bugs or it fails them in some very crucial ways, or there's some other things that are just inherently wrong with the product and you and them couldn't have known before. You want to find out what that is. Sometimes people don't report that things are broken about your product. Sometimes people don't take the time to send a lot of support emails. Sometimes they just churn. And you're totally unaware that there's problems with your product. And if you just call them to figure out, you might explore and expand your horizon and discover real opportunities to fix things and increase immediately the value of your product. And then it might be bad support. It might be that they say, you know what? The product was good, sales was good, we were the right fit, but every time we struggled or every time we needed help, you didn't support us enough, or you support us too late, or you didn't support us in the way that we needed it. And that again is something where you can learn from them and then adjust and either change the way you do support or change the way you do sales again or marketing by telling people what kind of support they can actually expect. Managing their expectations, managing if they're actually a good fit. You might find out that customers that need like hand-holding every day, like for the first 90 days, are just not worth it and you can't make the economics work. If that's a discovery, something you find out that you want to get that feedback back into your marketing, back into your copyright, your design, your onboarding, and also into your sales process. And then, once you actually figured out what the problem was, if they do have needs that they couldn't, fulfill with your product, and that's why they decided they want to leave, you want to find out if that's truly the case, or if there's actually something you can do about it, right? Sometimes people will go, well, your product doesn't allow me to do X, Y, Z, and you think, well, wait a minute, our product does allow you to do X, Y, Z. A lot of times people will get too excited, you'll jump in and you'll interrupt them because you're all excited about telling them that there is a way for them to get what they want. Again, before really going deep and fully arriving at understanding, instead of just like surface way assuming. So They say, well, we need X, Y, and Z. And you'll go, tell me a little bit more about X, Y, Z. What exactly is it there that you need? How exactly does it have to work? Tell me, what exactly is it that you want to accomplish? What's the use case? What's the workflow? And once you really fully grasp what it is, you can step in and say, you know what? I mean, I'm surprised, but we actually can do this. And I apologize that we failed the opportunity to deliver that value to you and communicate that to you, but maybe we still have a chance to make this work, right? Let me actually guide you through this. Here's what the product does. Or sometimes your product won't be able to deliver these features or functionalities or that value today, but you know it's in the roadmap. You know you're currently working on it and it's going to be released in a few days. If the timeline is not in the months, but it's in days or maximum in a week or two, you might want to highlight that and say, you know what? I apologize that, and there's no way you could have known, but we actually are about to release this. Let me understand a little bit better how exactly you need that feature, functionality, or value to be created, and let's see if it matches what we are developing, because if we're just a week away from delivering exactly what you need, you don't want to go. Right? You want to stick with a known solution, a known partner, a known entity, and just wait for another week or two and then get exactly what you want before leaving now and having to start off fresh. And that's another thing. You want to understand when they want to leave, where are they in that decision-making process? If you call them after they canceled, typically they already either have another solution or made a pretty final decision within the team, and it's usually really hard to change them and change their mind, but it's not impossible. It happens every single day. And when they do, when you actually do discover that you can offer what they want, and it would be in their best interest and in your best interest for them to stay instead of leaving, then you actually want to make a passionate pitch for it. You want to offer them, first of all, you want to make them realize that they're about to step into the grass is greener trap, right? Oh, there's some shiny new thing that looks exciting on the outside, but if you actually use it and actually work with that company and their support and success and have encountered their bugs and their challenges, you'll see that the grass always looks greener from the other side, but the reality is always a little messier than we all like to have. So you make a passionate pitch that you're a known entity. Have you earned their trust? Have you always worked hard to deliver? And if you failed, have you stepped in and took responsibility? Is it really a smart business decision for them to leave this known entity, this known relationship, and start a new one with all the new risks involved? Or do they want to stick around for a little longer to see if they can actually get everything they want out of your solution? And if not, please don't try to keep them. If you don't discover a way to keep them and keep them successful, it doesn't make sense to pressure them into staying for another month or two. They'll churn eventually. And they're probably going to be a lot unhappier then than they are now. So you want to always act in their best interest. But even if you can't sell them on staying, you're going to be able to learn a lot and find out what was wrong about our process, what could we have done better, what can we improve, and take that feedback and learning and pull it back into the product, sales, marketing, support, every area of your business to make sure that you make more and more customers successful at the end of the day. Now, I know, reaching out to people that are leaving is not the happiest, most comfortable thing to do in the world, but that's exactly what's one of the most valuable things. And now I know some founders or entrepreneurs might say, well, but that doesn't scale. I'd rather build the features, or I'd rather focus on the next marketing campaign. I can't just take time out of my day and call people that are probably going to be unhappy with me. That's exactly why it's so valuable. It's because it's uncomfortable. It's because outside your comfort zone, outside the zone of things that you've already mastered, which means that there's real value to be realized for you and your business, and real knowledge, real powerful knowledge. Your existing customers that are leaving are probably a lot more valuable in giving you feedback than prospective customers or your prospective market. Everybody wastes so much time going and getting feedback from people that might or might not buy the product versus actually looking at people that bought, that made that decision, but couldn't realize enough value from it. So do the things that don't scale, because those are the things that are going to make your business better. Go and pick up the phone and reach out to people when they're unhappy with your service and product. Find out why, see if you can fix it and if you can improve their lives and your business.